Small moments can leave unusually large psychological footprints. In these stories, everyday choices and brief encounters reshape identity, focus, and behavior in ways people don't always expect. A soldier cried while holding a baby, and the room went very still. Sophia Spangbird was 7, and she watched her infant brother in the soldier's arms. Then he said, "I have one like this at home." That recognition linked his tears to her family. The moment turned war into something personal, not distant. Sophia kept that memory with her for years. A crying soldier, a baby, and one sentence stayed joined in her mind. That small room became a memory she could carry. A thought can stop and inspect itself before you answer. That second glance is the strange part. First comes a judgment, like choosing an answer or reading a situation. Then another thought notices the first one. That second layer is cognition about cognition, often called metacognition. It can notice confidence, doubt, or a possible mistake. Once you notice uncertainty, you can slow down and revise the call. That self-check can catch errors before they harden. So the mind is not only producing thoughts, it is also watching a judgment, weighing doubt, and adjusting the note in front of it. Lu Shasha learned billiards without owning a mobile phone. That choice feels unusual right away. She said the phone might take away from her learning billiards. Training needs repeated shots and steady concentration. A phone can split attention with one buzz or glance. In practice, that small interruption can compete with the next shot. Without the device nearby, the room stays simpler. The table, cue, and repeating strokes get more of the mind. That kind of choice turns convenience into a trade-off. On the edge of the table, the unused phone sits beside the chalk. One line, 100 repeats a day. That was part of voice actor Rina Motomura's audition prep. Auditions can hinge on tiny choices, breath, timing, and whether a line lands cleanly in one take. Repeating the same line again and again can reduce hesitation. The words start to feel timed, not guessed. That kind of drilling builds a steadier delivery under pressure. The line becomes easier to place exactly when it matters. On the page, the line sits beside heavy pencil strokes, each pass marking another try at the same small moment. His fiancée gave him a bilingual dictionary, then started writing only in Slovene. Markella Greenberg was learning Slovene through correspondence, not just study. The letters became the reason to keep opening the book. Each Slovene letter created a real problem to solve. A word in the dictionary could answer one line, then the next letter asked again. That repeated exchange turned language into daily practice. The pressure was small, but the contact was constant. Greenberg later became a Slavic language professor, but the learning began with one letter at a time. On the desk, a handwritten note rests beside the open dictionary. An Ohio state judge gave land for a park and called it his personal weapon against juvenile delinquency. The park was Findlay State Park, and the idea was not punishment. It was access to recreation, open land, and a place to go after school. The logic was behavioral. The environment can shape routines, attention, and where young people spend time. A trail, a field, and a shoreline can pull a day in a different direction. So the donation worked like prevention. Instead of reacting after trouble, it tried to make a calmer daily setting more available. In that sense, the land became a community tool, not just a property line. At the edge of the park, trees press against a small boundary marker beside the trail. At a Romanian wedding, the bride's farewell can sound like a lament. The music does not match the celebration at first. The moment comes when the bride is leaving home. That shift changes family life and social life at once. In traditional music, that leaving can be shaped as a lament. The same piece may even be played instrumentally as the bride's sorrow. That form gives the feeling a public shape. People can hear the farewell instead of only guessing it. So the wedding holds two emotions together in one song. A bride stands at the threshold while the music keeps playing. A novelist once believed she and her medium were the same souls from an ancient Roman story. One was a woman, the other a slave girl she had mistreated. Rosa Prade used reincarnation as a way to read identity. In that frame, a present-day relationship could point back to a past life. The odd part is the moral link. The imagined past was not just history, it explained guilt, closeness, and why two people felt connected. That made everyday contact feel charged with consequence. A conversation, a glance, even a visit could seem tied to something older and unfinished. For a novelist, that kind of belief could turn a relationship into a story of return and repair. The notebook sat beside the seance table, waiting for another page. If one detail can change a life, The full pattern is worth seeing. Tell us which story stayed with you most, and subscribe for more factual psychology stories.